Today we continue with our class Kitzur Shulchan Aruch. This class number 76. And we start with Sefer Chofetz Chaim. And this topic is suggesting a shidduch, the balance. Okay. The balance. Let's admit somebody else. Okay, so it says, in the light of the prohibition of splitting one's fellow, one may be reluctant to suggest shidduch, marriage matches altogether. Others may feel that it's necessary to mention every possible shortcoming of the person so as not to be guilty of misrepresenting the truth. So it's very interesting, right? So, 1 second, somebody else. Okay. So, all right. Abraham is with us. All right. so we're talking about the shidduch. So first of all, we learned before, I don't know when, but long time ago, let's say, not like a few weeks ago, right? So a person should be very careful not to mislead the other side about the shidduch, the marriage. So a person might think, okay, so let me tell them everything that I know. So that's also a problem, right? A few acts of chesed, kindness, can compare with that of helping building a Jewish home. So it's very important, like people should not shy away when they have an opportunity to introduce a boy to a girl. So, I mean, that's a very big mitzvah. I mean, if you have, like, if you think that they might, it's not our business to decide like if they're going to be a good couple, but at least it might. So you might introduce the shidduch, right?
Mm-hmm. So what's it called? Let's say there's a problem, right? Let's say there's a person who wants to get a shidduch, and is it okay not to say something, right? If it has no, it doesn't matter pri halacha, it's not going to affect them in the future at all. Like it's not an attitude problem or anything. But let's say, I don't know, this person was a Balei Teshuva, and let's say they don't want someone who smoked in the past, right? So is he supposed to say that when he gets married or before he gets married, or he doesn't need to say it at all? It doesn't matter.
About smoking? Let's go specific. Give me a specific example. It would be
specific. I don't. Let's say he got suspended from yeshiva before. Let's say.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah. Is he okay? So she doesn't want someone who got suspended from yeshiva, but he has the best attitude out of any bacher. Let's say he knows the, and so on. So it's not going to affect at all their marriage or halacha or anything. So is he
at least at the initial stage, do not volunteer the information. So let them get to know each other, and then after some time, he should mention it. Mm-hmm. I mean, after they know, and she say, okay, he was stupid, he did whatever he did, and it was 7 years ago, 10 years ago. You understand? So now she would see it's a different light. Then if he comes in and say, you know what? Actually, I got thrown out from Yeshiva. Whoa. Okay, you know what? Just go home, guy. You understand? So, so many times, all of these things that people made up things for themselves, these barriers, these guidelines and stuff like that. So they're not realistic. So in this case, in similar cases, you're allowed to withhold the information for some time, but then you should tell them basically. Continue. One who thinks that a certain young man may be a suitable match for a certain young woman is not responsible to investigate the two and the family and their families before proposing a match. There is a responsibility of the party involved in and their parents. So basically, you know that she's this age and he's this age, and they have something in common. So your business is just to introduce. You don't have to go like a dick about his friends and this and that. That's your business. That's business of your friends, right? Your mother, basically, to find out all these things.
So let's say his brother, right, the person who wants to get a shidduch, his brother went to this yeshiva, who that family doesn't want to marry anyone whose brother or him or his family ever went to that yeshiva. So does he have to say that information ever, or does
not right away, because as you and I understand, it's stupidity to begin with, right? There are people from the best yeshiva, they acted like animals, right? And then people from unknown yeshiva, that the greatest of the great. You understand? So there's no connection, and it's known fact. People they go and I have somebody in Lakewood Yeshiva, so they told me that they introduced, I don't know when was it, like I don't know, 3-5 years ago, when Rabboim they understood what's going on. People getting accepted to Yeshiva in order to find the shidduch, period. So that they would go there for 3 months, 6 months. On a resume, it's they have this Lakewood Yeshiva, right? The main one, and that's it. So they actually forbade them date to date for a first, I don't know, 6 months, 1 year, whatever. So to show that they're serious. But people are using these names of yeshiva is everything on a resume, like college, the Havdil they would use. You understand? So there are crooks everywhere. However, the prohibition against misleading one's fellow requires one to not to suggest shidduch unless. Okay, so of course there is like you cannot be careless as well, right? Unless, number one, he believes that given what he knows of their personality, the two could be a good match, and he is unaware of any reason that relationship should cause pain or to either one. So I mean, normal people, if he does not know that this guy is a drug user and she's an abusive person, right? It goes to men and women. It's not, in today's age, it's not only men that are abusive, women also very abusive, right? So if he does not know any of this, I mean, that's a good shidduch. Number two, in his opinion, there is a reason to believe that their meeting will ultimately result in engagement. Okay, so I mean, she is single, he is single. Why not, right? So I mean, in his mind, there is no like big like barriers and I don't know, some like unless guys said, you know what, I'm not planning on meeting somebody for the next 8 months, so that's definitely wrong. But if he's looking, she's looking, there is no problem. It is wrong to waste a person's time, energy, and emotions. Basically, if he knows that one side is not ready, so it's not fair to the other side, right? That he said, no, I'm just looking, right? Even though he's not serious about getting married, she's not serious. Number three, he's not aware of any medical, emotional, or character deficiency that would render one party unfit to marriage, right? So all of this medical, emotional, that people getting excited and this and that. I mean, all of these medical terms that I do not even know how to pronounce, Baruch HaShem, but they exist. They're crazy people. So I try to help somebody, and person is talking normally, and then start yelling and screaming from nowhere, insulted me and stuff like that. And of course he called and apologized, and it's not me and this and that, and it's medication. Whoa. So you know, so I would stay away from such a person. 4-9, continue. 1 second. 4-9, 13. Okay, continue. Number 4. One does not feel that either party will have negative influence upon each other. Okay, of course, as we said, you don't have to do like a thorough investigation, but if you don't feel like I don't know, she's too bossy, she wants to be a boss, right? She wants to dominate this poor guy. So that's not good shidduch, right? Number 5, he's not aware of one party lacks something that the other is insistent upon, or has something that which other party explicitly expressed strong objection. Should any of the, so that's what what we said, what David was asking. If they say, if from this yeshiva, no way, right? So if you know that the people are like that, so maybe you should not suggest the shidduch. If they like very strong, but if they not so strong and that just there is a preference, so we can go and try to like play down for some time, even though we have to tell this guy, of course. Should there be a doubt as to whether any of these conditions have been met, the council of Talmid Chacham should be sought. Okay, of course, as always.
Right. So when all is said and done, what's the better malach to do a shidduch? Like the Chassidah should do it, where usually the parents choose and then end the story. You know, they go on 2-3 dates, or the Litvish who can go for, let's say, 3 months. Which one?
Okay. I mean, it's whenever they feel comfortable. You understand? So Hasidic way is one way. So they like Hasidic way. You see, they're the more strong. It's like a more settled mind. I would say. So they know that they have to have family. She's a good family. She's good looking. It's you have to understand for most of the guys, it's the first girl that he actually sees in his life, except beside his sisters. You understand? And this sister maybe smacked him a few times in the childhood, so he doesn't see her as a woman. He sees her as abusive power. You understand? So now it's a first girl. So of course he's going to say, what is he going to say? No. But for Litvish, for a more modern, let's say, like not mother, forget about, more like Haredi. So they want to know each other more and stuff like that. The more room to play like this way or that way. So of course, whenever they feel comfortable. But it should be like it should be like point when they say, okay, you say 1 month, okay, 1 month. You have 2 months, okay, 3 months, but that's it. You understand? So if after some time, it's just ruin the relationship. It's not going to work, almost guaranteed. Okay. So let's try to continue this Kitzur. And we are sorry, on the Simon 24. Laws of the Sefer Torah found to have an error. Okay, that's what we're discussing. Okay, and then Siv to number 2. Okay, Simon 24, Siv number 2. Okay, and it says, if word was found divided so that it looks like 2 words, or if 2 words were written close together and they look like 1 word, a child, as described below in CF number 5. Okay, so the Kitzur explained the child is qualified to make this assessment. Okay, so basically, before we continue, so I remember what Shulchan Aruch says. So Shulchan Aruch says, he uses this beautiful phrase, the child who is not very smart and not very childish, not very dumb, basically, right? So he knows how to read, right? But he does not know, but he is not so advanced that he knows the words, basically. So, but he knows the letters, right? So we give him and see how he's going to read, as a 1 word or 2 words, basically. That's of course we're not telling him what to do. We just ask him for a help. This little guy, right? So we always take this child. So meaning not too smart, not too dumb, but he knows the letters. Or if an extra word is found, so basically we asking based on not on a big rabbi, right? But based on opinion of this little guy. So he's our rabbi in this case, right? So how does it look to him? 2 words or 1 word? Okay. If an extra word is found, regardless of whether it is an extraneous word, which has no place here at all, or whether a word was mistakenly written twice, the cases Hasofer, 2nd edition, okay, or similarly, okay, so I apologize for this parenthesis. Well, so basically he's saying if two words are one word, or there is a extraneous word, should not be there, or one word was written twice, or similarly, if a deviation is discovered in the arranging of the passage of the Sefer Torah, such an open space in the place of the closed space, right? So we said last time what is the difference. So one is the closed space when there is a sentence ends, right, and there are spaces, so many spaces, and then in the same line the next sentence starts, right? And open is opposite when it's like they have spaces until the end of the line, and the next line starts with the next sentence, basically. Okay, so basically this closed space and open space are like in the wrong places, right? Not the way it's supposed to be. Or a break of the passage where it is unwarranted, so meaning in the middle of the sentence they decided to break. There is the break where there should not be a break at all. There should not even space, but they did a break, right? Or if there is a place where the passage should be interrupted and it is not, so basically, so sentence ended, and they continue with the next word, and there were no spaces. Commentary. There is no break where should be spacing for either the open or closed passage. So basically, as we said, after a passage ends, it should be closed or open. Meaning close, as we said, sentence like ends, spaces, so like some amount of spaces, and then start next sentence, or it starts from the next line. But here it just one sentence runs after the other, right? All these are absolute invalidations, and we are required to take another Sefer Torah. So all of these things that we just mentioned, except the first case where we say it's one word or two words. So there will be shown to the child, but the rest of this extra word or there is no wrong spaces, spaces in the right in the wrong places, right? So you need another Sefer Torah. CF number 3. If it was discovered that a letter was touching another letter, if it seems that they become connected after it was written, the Sefer Torah is kosher, provided that the letters have not changed form. Okay, so let's stop here and try to explain what it says. So next, so we know between all of this letter, between all of the letters should be space, always. How big is a different thing. So of course there is a minimal amount that you actually see, like I don't know, maybe the hair breadth or something like, but it should be spaces, right? So now they're touching. So for sure there is no doubt. You can see with your naked eye that the two letters are touching. So one more time, these commentaries. If it was discovered that the letter was touching another letter, if it seems that they become connected after they was written, commentary. For instance, it was connected. It was if what connects the letter, there is a drop of ink, clearly fell then after they were written. So of course, this ink, right? It's not so easy to be very precise. So especially when the letters are a little closer to each other, so a little drop, a tiny drop of ink can connect the two words. So of course, it was not intentional it was not how it was written, basically. So in this case, continue. What do we do? After the Sefer Torah is kosher. So basically, after the fact, so it looks like this dot was that connects to two letters was after the letters was written. So after the fact, the Torah is kosher. Commentary. Fit for use. Certainly, the Sefer Torah should be corrected before it is taken out again. But as it was already taken out for use, one is not required to take another Sefer Torah. See Shulchan Aruch, see Mishnah Brura, which said that Sefer Torah is invalid in many cases, but the letters touched depending on the extent of the contact. See Mishnah Brura 143. Okay. So basically, so first of all, right? So even if we go by lenient opinion and we say, okay, no problem, after the fact, it is okay. The second time we cannot take the same Sefer Torah, so we have to take a razor, right, and just scrape away some ink, right, to make the Sefer Torah kosher. So Mishnah Brura says in many instances, in many cases, so it depends how it touched. But in this case, in the case of the Kitzur gift, so it's like some dot. It was for sure after the letters were written. Okay. And continue. So after the fact, provided the letters have not changed form. So I mean the exactly recognizable letters and look exactly the way they're supposed to be, right? If the letter remains in its form despite being connected to another letter, the Sefer Torah is kosher and does not have to be replaced, right? So, but if they are not, so if this little dot of ink changed the form of the letter, so that's already a problem. And not only the letters are connected, but the problem is with the wrong letter is written there. That's the issue. Or wrong form of the letter. However, even it seems that it became connected so at the time of the writing, that the law depends on the exact situation. Meaning when it's not like accident, the little drop of ink fell after the letters was written. No, if it was initially written like that, okay. For if it became connected in this way, before the letter was completed, right, such as in the case of straight noun, right, we're going to explain straight noun, that was connected within its body to the protruding foot of the adjacent tuft, okay, and the like, the Sefer Torah is unfit to use. Okay, so let's see. So we're dealing with a situation when in the beginning it was written in the wrong way. Okay, so one more time, and we see the commentary. For if it became connected in this way before the letter was completed, right, such as the case of straight noun. Commentary. In distinction from the noun that is located within the word, the noun located at the end of the word extend downwards without bending in its base. So the final noun is one like long. It has a long leg. Okay, so you cannot mistake it for anything, right? So one more time, before the letter was completed, such as the case of straight noun, so final noun, not the regular final noun. Final noun that was connected within the body, okay, to the protruding foot of adjacent tuft. and the like. Okay, so let's see what about this tav. The tav protrudes at the bottom toward the left. Tav protrudes to the bottom toward the left. Okay. If that protrusion makes contact with another letter, the contact will likely have been made at the time of the second letter was written, as the Hebrew is written from right to left. Okay. Since the straight nun must extend beneath the line on which the letters are written, if it is touched by the protruding leg of a tav, the point of the contact will be within the body of the nun. Exactly. Thus, there will never be a time during which it would have been kosher letter. For it touched the tav before it was the requisite length. This is absolute invalidation, and another Sefer Torah must be taken out. So basically, since we we write from right to left, right, and this tav, and then after the tav comes nun with protruding leg. So basically, it was not possible to read in otherwise. Basically, I mean, I don't want to overburden you with details, but but this is classic example when you say it was not possible, that it was like a drop fell after that, and that's how these letters were connected. It's impossible. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So bottom line, when we have, let's say, two letters, right? And I think that's what they're saying, is that it's possible. Why? Since the nun, right? It wasn't full, it wasn't a complete letter. It became puzzle before it became a complete letter. If it was puzzle, if they became connected, right? After you wrote the whole letter, then it's a kosher Sefer Torah, right?
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
Okay, good.
I mean, okay, in simple terms, yes, that's what it is. So if it's possible, so in some cases, as you give example, so in some cases it is possible to for us to assume, right, that it was written in correct manner and something happened after that. But if it's not possible, like if you see you write first from right to left, and you wrote this leg, and then connected to that, so it's impossible to be otherwise. So then we go stricter. Yeah. I mean, he goes with all his details, but okay. But that's the basic meaning of it. Correct. However, during the week, one may scrape there to separate the two letters. So I mean, while they're reading, they can stop for 1 second. He can take a razor. I mean, the person who knows what to do, just scrape a little this extra ink. That's it. That's all that is required.
So I had a problem with this. We don't say in this case, because usually when we have a problem on a Sefer Torah, don't we have to erase not erase, I don't know, we have to get rid of all the other words that we had?
No, not in the Sefer Torah. You're talking about tefillin or mezuzah. That they have to be written. Of course, we learn Kitzur. They skip many things, right? So in mezuzah and tefillin must be written in order. So basically, if he figure out, so just quickly, right? So if he figured that, oh wow, I did a mistake, so he has to scrape all the way from the back, right? And until the fix mistake, and then continue writing. So it must be written in a correct sequence. But if it was Hashem's name, that's it. I mean, he cannot erase Hashem's name to fix mistakes that was before that. So in this case, he must bury it.
But over here, we don't say that you're allowed to, let's say, change Bereshis, even though you finished the whole Sefer Torah.
Yeah. Yes, you allow, and that's why you have all of these sheets, right? That they saw with the seniors, right? And you can work on them independently. You understand? You could prepare, for example, a half of the book from 5 years ago, and then you sew them together, and there is no problem. And in any sequence, there is no problem, right? But with mezuzahs and tefillin, that there's a big deal, and this big deal. So basically, for us, we must understand there is no way for us to see what was written in correct order or not in correct order. There is no way. So that's why when you buy mezuzah, when you buy tefillin, you must buy from a God-fearing person. There is no way to check. No way. You understand? That's the issue. So here they say if it's a weekday, so let them take a razor and just erase a little ink, and that's it. Commentary: by scraping away, scrape away the ink that connects the two letters, he removes the invalidations, period, right? Since each letter is properly spaced, the Sefer Torah is fit to use. This can be done at the time of the invalidation is discovered. They can then proceed to the Sefer Torah is now valid. Okay, so I mean, the person is know what he's doing, and I saw it once in Israel. They done it. I mean, I asked somebody what is going on, and the guy explained me, but it took them, I don't know, 2 minutes, 3 minutes max to fix this issue. Unbelievable, very fast, very efficient. Okay, continue. But if the letters became connected at the end of the letter, okay, at the end of the letter, the Sefer Torah can be deemed kosher, and there is no need to take out another Sefer Torah. Okay, so let's see. So meaning at the end of the letter. So let's see the commentary. But if the letters became connected at the end of the letter, commentary. If a vav, so vav, you know, like straight line, almost like little, right? If vav followed the taf, vav, so it's first taf, then vav, okay, and they became connected, as described above. The connection was formed after there already was a complete vav, okay, and the vav was of the requisite length before it touched the taf. This is not considered absolute invalidation, and one may continue reading from the Sefer Torah. So basically, in this case, we know that one letter, it was the last letter of the line. So we know that most likely, when I say no, like, of course, we have to understand it's most likely they were written correctly and they got attached later on. So we can continue use the Sefer Torah. Although Kitzur uses terms kosher, he does not mean to imply that it may be left as it is. Certainly, the scroll must be corrected. As Kitzur concludes, they are not required to take out another scroll. It is kosher in respect that no absolute invalidation. Okay, so basically, one more time, even though we say it is correct, like you can continue reading, you don't have to take another Sefer Torah, but we must know what it's only correct for now. But second time, I'm not sure if they would allow to use the second time. I mean, same error. Okay. Continue. CF number 4. If a letter in the Sefer Torah was found to have a lost or its proper form, also possible, regardless of whether it was so from the onset of the writing or it became so afterwards as a result of the puncture, also, right? The Sefer Torah is invalid. So let's see the commentary and we're going to explain. If a hole in the parchment took part of the letter, causing loose form. So I mean, it's very easy. I'm not sure somebody took a needle or like I don't know, like even insects, or they ate a little from the letter. So and now it is a hole in a Sefer Torah. So now this the form of the letter is deformed. That's it. Cannot use it. Or let us say if it was written like this to begin with. So it is invalid. However, if a puncture was found within the area of the letter or immediately on the outside of the letter, so that the letter retains its form, except that it is not surrounded by parchment, and it is obvious that the puncture occurred after the writing was completed, the Sefer Torah is kosher, since at the time of the writing, the letter was surrounded by the parchment. So let's see the commentary, and we're going to explain number 24. All letters in Sefer Torah must be fully surrounded by the parchment on both their outer and inner perimeters. If there is a letter was written, it was fully surrounded by the parchment. Even if the hole developed around the letter, the Sefer Torah is kosher provided that the form of the letter itself is not compromised. Okay, so let's try to explain what it says here. So if it was a hole, a puncture is a hole. Let's say it's in the middle of the letter, so that does not touch ink, right? So which is possible, or it is outside of the letter and it does not touch ink or change the thing, right? So why do we concern with all of this? Because we know there is a rule that parchment, like empty parchment, must surround every letter, like inside and outside. So, but in this case, since this hole was developed after the fact, so we say, okay, after the fact, the Sefer Torah is kosher. And it's possible what they do, they glue piece of parchment like from the bottom, and that's how they fix. I mean, if it's, I would say I saw it a few times when the hole may be a little bigger, or they were trying to erase and they made the hole, so and they like put a piece of parchment from the bottom. So one more time, since the time of the writing, the letter was surrounded by the parchment. So like initially it was good. So after the fact, we don't drive everybody crazy. Commentary. Where it is unclear when the puncture occurred, unless it is a very small hole, it can be assumed that it was after the writing. Had it been there at the time of the writing, the scribe would certainly notice it. So basically, yes, we rely on this on a scribe to be a kosher person, and so basically, if it was a hole, so first of all, he could have arranged the lines. That's my guess, right? I mean, one of the possible solutions. He would arrange the lines, so this hole would be like between the lines, like not even close to the letters. No question about it, right? Or he could have, as we said, he could have fixed it. So since it was not done, so and we assume that he was a kosher person, so I assume that this hole was developed after that, after the letters were written. Continue. If the ink flaked off of a letter, and it is not properly black, see the Sefer the Sefer Torah is invalid. So let's see commentary. Okay. So basically, ink, right? It's like what is the ink? It's like a paint, right? And paint has its own thickness and everything, right? So it could be like part of the letter it stayed the same, and part of the letter, like this ink fell off. Possible, right? So I mean, you see the shape of the letter is the same, but since the ink is missing, like partially, so the Sefer Torah is involved. I saw it in one shul. We had very old, not I'm not sure how very old, whatever, but old Sefer Torah. It looks like not a very good quality. Maybe something happened, I'm not sure. but during the years, maybe 50 years scroll, maybe 60, I don't know, but not more than that. But something developed, and this paint, this ink started flaking off. Basically, that's the problem.
Is that why we don't have any specific Torah from let's say 500 years ago, 600 years ago?
Exactly. Yes. It's very hard to maintain them. So you have to scroll, and anytime this piece of ink can fall off. Because of the age. You understand? And it was actually written like that. It was intention that the ink should be it should not be permanent, I don't know, like a tattoo, right? That it penetrates the scroll. No.
Why?
It should be why is that? I don't remember why they say that, but that's the requirement. So this ink should not be too strong that it would eat through the parchment. That's the thing. So okay. So that's okay. So continue. Let's try to do one more. These things are very technical, but as I remember learning this, it's maybe 10% what Shulchan says, maybe 6%. So that's they give us big discount here. Continue. Number 5. If there is uncertainty regarding the letter, that perhaps it was not, it has not retained its form, it's be shown to a child who's neither usually bright nor simple. Okay, exactly. So we find this key. Who knows the letters but do not know how to read yet, right? That is to say that he will not recognize what letter should be from the context, right? So he does not know the words, so he would not know. Oh no, this is this word or that word, right? But he does know how to recognize the letters. So the letters he knows, but the words he does not know. So you have to find this kind of child, because if he can, even for us, right? So for example, you have a sefer, right? You have a book, and the corner is missing, right? The corner is missing completely. So basically, of course, sometimes the whole word is missing, but when you read it, you have two letters. You can figure out what the word is. So that's not good. In this case, the child must know only how to read the letters, not the words. If he reads it properly, so we ask this guy, he reads it properly, the Sefer Torah is kosher. So of course, as we say, kosher until we fix it, right? And if he cannot read it properly, it is unfit for use. So basically, we rely on this, I don't know, 4 years, 5 years old guy. If several children were divided in their opinions, we follow the majority. David Emes, very interesting. So commentary: the number of the children were asked to identify the letter, and there is no consensus among them. So of course you call them separately to the Sefer Torah, and one say this letter was, another say it's that letter. So basically, if they have different opinions, so we go by majority. It's very interesting. Okay, continue. However, if it is only when they are in doubt that the child's judgment helps. Just one second. However, it is only when we are in doubt. When we are in doubt. I apologize. That the child judgment helps. If we know that it does not look like the proper letter, that there is no child help needed, right? As then it is being used only to reveal the facts. Commentary: if the letter is there and the child is simply confirming that it is recognizable, then he may be relied upon. When what is written is not letter at all, however, a child may not be relied upon. So, first we have to look and we have to see as a doubt, maybe it looks like this letter. I mean, of course, we saw many shapes of the letter. So for us, I mean, of course, we're going to, we know what is there, right? If it looks like this letter, but we're not sure, we ask child. If it does not look like a letter, we don't ask this child. However, if we see that the letter does not conform with to its halachic specification, and similarly, if the Yudim or Aleph, right, or Yudim and Ayin and Shin, or the leg of the Tav are separated, and the like, the Sefer Torah is invalid. Even though the child can read it, can read it, for we see that we see with our own eyes that the letters were not properly written. So okay, so let's read this piece again, this commentary. Of course, there are many commentaries, so 1 second. However, if we see that the letter does not conform with halachic specification, the letters of the Sefer must be written according to specific halachic instructions. So it's a specific shape, specific leg, and how long, and these proportions. So it's very interesting how to write these letters, right? So, so if it's that does not conform with halachic specification, so of course it's not valid. If Yudim of the Aleph, so Aleph has 2 Yuds, right? One from the top and one from the bottom, basically, right? They must touch the body. This Alephs, this Yuds. Commentary. The Aleph is comprised of a diagonal bar, right? Diagonal bar, and 2 Yuds from the right and from where is it? From the bottom, right? And 2 Yud shapes protrusion, one above and one inverted below the bar. So you have bar, 1 Yud, and then another Yud, basically. Right? That's how Aleph is written. These Yuds must touch the diagonal bar. So that's an obligation. If it does not touch, it's like it's not Aleph, it's whatever bar and 2 Yuds or 1 Yud. Right? If they do not, even if the character is recognized by a child as Aleph, the Sefer Torah is invalid. I mean, that's very clear, right? So, and okay, so it's we just discussed 2 Yuds in Aleph. So next example, or Yudim in Ayin. So Ayin also, right? It also has this Yud and a Shin. So Shin also, it's 3 Yuds, I think. Like the Aleph, the Ayin, and Shin are each comprised of the body to which the Yuds are attached. So in Ayin, it's I think it's 1 Yud, and in Shin it's 3 Yuds. Where as well the Yudim must be connected to the body of the letter. So that's I mean, even though like it's very thin connection, and you see that those are Yuds, but still they must connect to the body, so to comprise one there. Okay. The Sefer Torah is invalid, so if they're not connected, even though the child can read it, I mean, they're very like very close, but still they're not connected. So we see with our own eyes that the letters are not properly written. So we don't ask this child guy. Okay, so let's see. So let's see. Maybe we do one more, unless you have many questions. Okay, so let's do one more or 6. One second. Let me see. How much is it? Oh, you know, actually we can stop here. No, it's too much. So let's go to questions on the topic. Israel, go ahead. I think you have questions.
So, yes. Have 3 questions here. Is it forbidden to have in your refrigerator non-kosher meat? That is the first question.
No, there is no problem whatsoever. So if you know that you're not going to eat it, there is no problem. So the concern about you basically. So I give you one example, right? So when I used to work in the office, so we have this huge refrigerator, I mean regular refrigerator, but 20, 30, 50 people would have their lunches in that refrigerator. So I would have like my container, whatever I have, and I have one bag and another bag, like whatever colors, so no, everybody knows that it's not his. So and there is no problem. So you can store, and of course most of the food, not like I would say, yeah, most of the food was not kosher, and there is no problem. It's not touching. There is no problem whatsoever.
Adding to this question, if this non-kosher meat from another person is leaking something that it would be an issue there.
So I mean, if it's leaking and it's leaking on a shelf, and you can wipe the shelf after that. So first of all, so we have to understand it is cold. You understand? So cold already changing everything. So basically, if it does not leak on your food, that it penetrates into your food, there is no problem basically. You understand? So if you can wipe out and throw whatever this bounty or whatever, there is no problem.
Yeah, but in this situation, it's very likely to the leak will touch your food that is reserved. Would be an issue there.
So if it leaks, for example, if it leaks, it has a piece of meat, right? It's so open in a bag, it was hole in the bag, whatever. And you have container with your food. Whatever, you have container, but it's closed, right? So if it leaks on your lid, right on top, so you can just wipe out, wash it, and there is no problem. You don't eat from that part. I mean, it's not the best scenario in life to have, but basically there is not a big deal to kosher your lid, for example.
But assuming that you have there below, you have a salad ready to eat, and
but that's a different issue, of course.
That will be what will be the issue? Would be very serious.
So okay. So I would say, so if you know that it's leaked there, so you can see actually that there's meat juice into your salad. That's one thing, right? So, but if it's a possibility, just possibility that it leaked, you don't actually see anything, right? So that's a different thing. So if it's only possibility and you check thoroughly and then you don't see any residue, nothing. Right, so you can assume you can even if it dropped, let's say, possible, right? So you can account on 1 to 60 ratio. So if it's a kosher ratio, so of course there's a possibility, right? So it's 60 times of permitted ratio, so there is no problem, right? But if you found specifically some drops, so you can always take them off, right, with a napkin or something, if you see some throw out some salad, and that's it, but the rest you can eat.
Okay, but it would be you see a capital sentence in time of
no, not in this case, no.
Okay, another question is it forbidden for a non-Jew to handle and sell kosher meat?
If he has kosher meat, what is the problem, you think? Why would you ask?
It's allowed a non-Jew to handle this kosher meat and make a business with it? With
a kosher meat? So if so the question is, let me understand the question. So a non-Jew wants to open a kosher restaurant, let's say.
Not really, more like deliver meat for consumers.
You see, the deliver meat is I would say is questionable, but I mean, as a business, if he has a trucking company, right, he has a big truck with a refrigerator and stuff like that, and he delivers for all of the non-kosher butchers, so he can deliver for a kosher butcher. What is the problem? Right? So, I mean, of course, all of the boxes must be sealed properly, but we trust him that he's not going to, I mean, if for example, I order 10 boxes, right? From the butcher. So he sent me to with this non-Jewish delivery guy 10 boxes. So I'm not, and they all sealed with the original seal. So I don't assume that this non-Jew would do something to it.
So for regarding to this, I have the final third question is: are non-Jews allowed to eat kosher meat?
Why not? Let them eat kosher meat. What is the problem?
Okay. And well,
I mean, good, good for our business. No, let them in. I mean, for them, I mean, I saw this many times. I have this butcher store not far from where I live, and I saw like clearly Christians, like black ladies, they would come and do the big shopping, and they will shopping this guy for 50 years. They know his father, his mother, everybody. You understand? So I mean, for them it's spiritual thing. Yeah, you understand? They don't buy like, I don't know, a lot, but they buy a little, whatever they buy, chicken, piece of meat, and they do it like many and I saw that they pick it up. These two ladies that I was in line, so they like have like 15 packages for other, like maybe from their church or whatever thing. They like kosher meat. Of course, they say I heard many testimonies from non-Jews when they first trying kosher meat. They say it's you do not understand what you're eating. That's what they told me. Chicken. Forget about other things. Chicken, right? It's like from the earth and heaven. That's what they told me. Few times, maybe 5 times in my life.
okay.
And it's not. And if you think about it, right? It's not the price, even though they much higher price. No, nobody argues. But if they go with this not Jewish, like organic stock, like all of the for crazy people, so I would say their organic stuff is more than our kosher for sure.
Okay. I have another, but
Okay.
for now it's enough, I think.
No, go ahead.
Okay. Okay. So regarding to in regards to shidduch, we were talking about at the beginning of the class. Till which point we must get deep into love during a shidduch, during the day.
At which point? What? Say it again. I didn't get it.
We must get deep into love during the dating because
or falling in love with
yes, because I have a concept here. Because in the past, or when you were young or teenager, we used to think in a date like, for example, the woman she's like my heart, my soul, and many more things. We look for that. Today it will be bordering human idol worship for a human being, and so is it the question is it a biblical violation to fall in love with our shidduch?
No. Okay, so let me like start a little with you from Chumash, right? So it says when Yitzhak met Rivka, so and he said that he married her and he loved her. So our sages like jump on this line right away. So they say, look, he first married her, and then after some time he fall in love. So with our shidduch, when we go to the shidduch, so we're not Yitzhak Savino, as we know, right? We're a little lower level, right? But it should be some kind of a physical attraction, a must. Physical attraction is a must be, right? And then that's why we write all of the resumes. And so in this resume, you have time, right? You don't have to decide anything on a spot. So you say, I want this, and this, and this, and this. And in my dreams, right, in my perfect marriage life. I see myself and doing this and this, and my wife is this, and we have 7 children, 10 children, 1 child, 7 dogs, whatever. So that's what I want. So you understand, when you come to this shidduch, when she sees your resume, you saw her resume, and you see, okay, out of 10 points that she wants, okay, with 3 points I can work, right? Maybe it's not my best desire, but I can work on. So basically, where you're trying to see if it's like, if this like team in some sense, right? If it's going to work. So love is going to come. Most likely, like the love develops because people, they when they get married, they're going together through so many things, and now they close, and they know what the love is. This at 19, 20 years old, what do they know about the love? What do they know about life? They know zero. You understand? So of course they have an unrealistic expectation. And love, so when you connect it on a soul level, it does not matter you're 20 or you're 40 or you're 50 or you're 70. The souls are the same. You understand? The soul connection is only getting stronger. But love, meaning as a physical attraction, it changes. Okay, she was 23. Now she had 1 child and the 2 children, and she gained weight. And now she is not size or whatever. She's 5 sizes more. And she has to change her wardrobe, and she does not look exactly as in a marriage picture. So in this case, where this love, this physical attraction, it breaks. You understand? That's why we go on a soul level. When it does not break, doesn't matter how she looks. After a few children, especially.
And I have another context for this, taking into account the Shema, because in the Shema it say we must love HaShem with our entire souls and our entire hearts. And what if we love our shidduch, now is our wife, very much in the extreme that we are not going to give us 100% love to HaShem?
So what I didn't get the question. So you were saying, so now it's competition between your spouse and HaShem?
Yes, kind of that, because how we avoid that this love between the wife and the husband might interfere with love of HaShem.
I mean, if you see, we cannot see this independently. So your loving your wife is serving HaShem. It's not like it's her or HaShem. It's opposite. Like whatever you do together, you live together, is a part of the servitude of HaShem. There is no contradiction. By loving her, you're loving HaShem. He said, get yourself a wife and attach to your wife. You get away from your parents, and that's what exactly you do. So, and you do all of the mitzvahs together. So there is no, it should not be like it should not be any like contradiction. There is no like you're doing. She's serving HaShem, you're serving to HaShem, and you together serving to HaShem. There is no. There's no contradiction. It should not be like any competition. David, go ahead.
Yes, Rabbi. I heard from Rabbi Solberg about the Chavetz Chaim when his son died, right? He told the story about this one woman during, I think it was the Crusades, where, her child died, and now she said she can put 100% of her, koiches to Hashem. Okay? So, I think he's talking about the same here too, where he's talking about you won't have 100% kavanah while davening, for example.
Okay, so I mean, to have 100% kavanah, like somebody asked me.
No, let's say he's rather gonna want to schmooze with her instead. He's gonna be more inclined to schmooze with her instead of study. We'll say it that way. He's gonna spend one more hour, an unnecessary hour schmoozing with her. Just because he wants to, not because.
But you see, to say that it's a necessary, not necessary. So it's all life. So it's many times we have to be wise, right? So and say, maybe I'm going to sacrifice, right? 1 hour to my source of HaShem to talk to my wife, but in my mind, it's for Hashem's sake, to make our marriage bond stronger. So next time she said, "What are you doing here? Why are you not learning?" So she would yell at me that when I'm not learning. So you understand? Sometimes it's like many times a give and take. It's not like there is a straight formula, but in your mind it has to be straight, right? Hashem come first before everybody, right? And before wife, before children, before even yourself, Hashem comes first, and then everything should fall in part. And but don't tell them basically that they are not first. Tell them they're first, but you know that it's not true. Hashem is number one.
What's it called? Next question is, how does one know when he needs to take a break and when he should, push himself?
I think, I mean, in general, so we have this halacha. So if a doctor said, you're good, you're not sick, and person said, no, I'm very sick, so we trust this patient, even though the doctor is an expert in the field. Said there is not the problem with you. Said no, I'm very sick, so we trust the patient. And if patient said no, I need this medicine, doctor said you do not need this medicine, so we go by the patient also, because like inside of him he feels what he needs. Even from outside it's not visible, right? So how do we connect that? So every person, you must meet yourself. So the problem is many people, and Baruch Hashem, I got a compliment from one person. So this person said, I was blown away, right? I was blown away, but I have to tell him. After 35 years, this person, after 35 years, I introduced him to him. This person never talked to himself. He did not. He was always like running around, like from himself with all of the issues, all of that, have a problem, life pressures, and he was not like able to talk to himself, to get to know himself. You understand? So all of these mistakes, the way I explained to the person, not all. I'm not the expert, but. Many mistakes that this person was doing in his life because he did not know himself. Doesn't matter. It sounds funny, ridiculous, but he thanked me today. So now it's a different person. Like he thinks differently. So you must know yourself.
Yeah, but what's it called? I know that I always want to sleep past chakras for 2 hours. So so even more so with studying, right? So how do we know the borderline when?
No, but nature, laziness is natural.
Yeah,
it's absolutely natural. If you read the Mesilas Yesharim, he repeats it many times, 100 times or less. So it's natural. So that's why we must work on ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Like another person was talking to me like, but the dude, and I always tired. Like I said, you normal? I said you daven the whole shacharis and you have time for it, but the dude, yeah, you normal? And then it tend to be like he davens like 15 minutes shacharis and he does half an hour but the dude. You understand? So people need to know what to do. Like we follow the Shulchan Aruch. I explained. So me personally, after I do shacharis, I don't want to do anything. Like even though it's a back of this, not a back like extra things that we say shacharis. Me personally, I'm not on that level. I don't say it because I'm so tired. After the whole 1 hour and 40 minutes, I'm done basically. Maybe if you leave me alone, I will do. But that's the thing. You understand? So a person must know himself. So if any extra, you must know it's from Eitz Hara. Why? Because you're going to break on a mandatory things. So you do mandatory things, and then if you have koyach for extra, you do extra. But me personally, most of the time I do mandatory, and that's it. That's I'm telling you.
Because what's it called? Any avera someone does, for example, the Tanya, I know the Tanya says, and this is Shari Tshuva too, where you can show an avera, right? And not even okay, we'll go with an avera. How if someone does an avera, basically has no justification to live. Why? Because you were created to do mitzvahs and you're doing the exact opposite. So I could say the same about a lot of small stuff because I'm not willing to put in the extra koyach. But when do we say, okay, bare minimum, do good enough, and don't do, bare minimum. Be like, the guy who, how someone davens too quick, right? Be like that in day-to-day life, except, let's say, Torah study. When do we say be good enough, and when do we say lechatchila?
Good enough, so we go by Shulchan Aruch. Shulchan Aruch says what's good enough. So if he says we daven like we count money, so that's how we daven. We don't daven fast. So don't add extra. I think that's the best example that I gave. So he said, I'm so tired from this week, but they do that like I feel like the whole energy is left. I'm like, what are you talking about? You normal? And then we figure out that he does not daven, period. I'm not sure what he does, but in 15, 20 minutes, not much basically. So you understand? So, but it's a hara is going to push you all of these projects. Oh, let's do this and let's do that. And you just push back. You push back. So no, I'm going by Shulchan Aruch. Because after 120 years, we're going to get judged by Shulchan Aruch. Like this, I don't want to even call him a younger person. The person in his stories, right? So he asked me, like, I don't know, like 5, 6, 7 years ago, about double tefillin. He asked me, do you wear double tefillin? What is double tefillin? I didn't know like what he was talking about. So, and then they do research. So these Kabbalistic tefillin, so, and they feed like, they have enough room. So they tiny, they feed in there. So the guy does not know how to wash hands before the bread. You understand? Hopefully today he does, but like all the crazy things. That just wear one tefillin. That's it. Don't do 3, 5. 1 is enough.
Understood. So I wanted to give you 2 quotes. What's it called? One is a quote of the Stipler, and then the other is actually what the Stipler wrote. And then you tell me what someone should do. Because he's talking about people who, let's say, wash their hands 20 times in the morning because they're not sure and so on, right? So what's it called? This is quoted from Rabbi Yisrael Gans. Says that in cases that come before you regarding sufferers of religious compulsions, I think it is important to recall what the Gedolei Yisrael, such as the Stipler and Rav Shlomo Zalman said, and others have opined in this matter, that in every case of doubt in the halacha, one is to decide on the lenient side of the question, even if it is unclear whether there's a doubt in the first place. One is also to be lenient. Okay. So first of all, what do you say to that?
No, but of course, we're talking. It's this compulsion when they have to do Shema. And I remember like some time ago I was in a shul and they told me it's a slow down minyan. I said that's what I like is slow down minyan. That's I'm in the right place. And this guy on my left, Shema. I said, normal. And he was going like 10 times. I was nervous. I was looking and it was another guy like that. So the people are crazy. That's too much. Okay, maybe you didn't have the perfect kavanah. Okay, you say later on with a better kavanah, but don't do 7 times. You understand? That's too much. So in this case, we say 1 time, we go lenient, that's it. You have a perfect kavanah, just stop it, continue, and then not stop it, continue reading. Don't do all of these crazy things. But it's like these people, like they in their mind, if they say 1 time, it's not good. In 10 times, second time, also not enough kavanah. Why would you drive yourself crazy?
So when a person has compulsions, right? For example, let's say what I might do sometimes is, let's say I were to say Talmud, right? then at the end you're not sure if you should tell him what or not. For example, this last month, right? You're not sure and so on. Then you always have to, let's say you feel like you have to repeat it all the time, so on and so forth. When obviously, you know, there's a very
exactly. So you have to know yourself, and I would say put yourself a sticker there, like orange sticker, like a neon orange or neon green. And what I do, I'm telling you what I do. I put my finger, and I would not remove my finger until I said what I have to say. That's it. And it's very inconvenient to keep your finger like that in a siddur, but that's my way. So I know for sure, I'm not going to remove my finger unless I said the right phrase. So, and always remember in Shema Aleinu, as we learn, Shema Aleinu, you can always add this thing, just in case if you're not sure.
So what's it called? In a case where, so basically a person with these compulsions and so on and so forth, right? And he feels like a normal person wouldn't have this. So it's okay if he follows the disciples' advice in such a case?
Absolutely. He must. It's not okay, it's must. To go the linear opinion. No, not the linear. I apologize. It's not linear opinion. He did once, that's it. That's it. Continue with your life. Don't assume that you made a mistake.
But also this applies not only to that as far as I know, but you're also saying, let's say someone isn't sure about a halacha, but it seems like such a far off question where nobody else would ask it and it doesn't make any sense in the first place, just he's worried. So in this case too, you would say?
No, if it's easy to check, so he must check the halacha. But we're talking about during the davening. Did I say, did not say? Who can I ask? There is nobody that you can ask. And that there is no way for that you can remember. You understand? Or this Shema guy. It's like crazy.
Yeah. Okay. And the second quote is that this is from the Sefer. It is forbidden to give reasons or explanations to such a person. For every reason that he is given, he will undermine, to contradict, and reject completely whatever he was told. Right?
Exactly. So I mean, these people, it's not about reasoning. It's not about. He would say exactly opposite. Well, whatever you're going to give him 10 reasons, he's going to give you 10 answers why he's the worst person in the planet Earth. You understand? So that's there is nobody to talk to them. So don't give them the reason. Just say this is halacha. Why? Because I'm telling you. So sometimes you have to be a little stern with people.
Okay.
Anything else? Israel? Any? Good. Okay. Baruch Hashem. Baruch Hashem. All right. So nice to see you guys. And until tomorrow, B'ezrat Hashem, same time. Okay. Good night. Thank you very much.